Hi, everyone. Welcome to AWS Made Easy episode number 57. AWS Made Easy has a special guest. We have Maria Petrova, and she is the lead for the AWS Skills Center in downtown Seattle. Now, Maria is going to tell us all about the center, what it has to offer for adult education, certification, and there's things for young people too. It's really impressive. As an AWS community builder, it was a great opportunity to see what AWS is doing for the community. So when I was little, I grew up in Washington, D.C., and I would take the metro with my cousin and my little brother. I can't believe my mom let us do it, but we'd take the metro and we'd spend the day at the Air and Space Museum. It was free, educational, and inspirational, and it was so valuable to see and feel planes and rockets and understand the broader impact of these technologies. And the Skills Center plays that role here for the cloud. Now, the cloud is often very intangible, but the Skills Center is full of engaging exhibits to show how AWS powers real life technologies. And most importantly, for anyone in the community looking to learn about the cloud and expand their skill set, you will want to listen. And if you know someone who's trying to learn more about the cloud, maybe change careers, share this with them. Now, if you're in Seattle, be sure to visit the AWS Skills Center downtown. Here, I'm going to show you where it is. Starting with Earth, zooming in, AWS Skills Center Seattle. If you just zoom in, there it is, very central downtown location. It is on the ground floor. So go ahead and check that out. That's where the AWS Skills Center is. And please leave a question in the comments and we will try to address it. This interview was pre-recorded a few weeks ago when Rahul and I were in Seattle at the same time. All right, here is the interview. To AWS Made Easy, we're doing this live interview format. So for everyone, this is Maria Petrova, and she runs the AWS Skills Center here in Seattle. So you notice we have this awesome location. So Maria, I was wondering if you could tell us about yourself, how you ended up in tech, in Seattle, and in cloud, and AWS. What's your background?
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. First of all, I wanted to start with that. It's really enjoy the opportunity to be able to talk about this myself and the Skill Center and just share my journey, as well as my passion in tech. So I was born and raised in Bulgaria, and then my family and I were lucky enough to come here. We landed in Seattle. I want to say about 20, 25 years ago, and we're all still in Seattle. And I happen to have to see Seattle, how it evolved in the last 25 years. And how I got interested in tech is it started with mathematics. So I really like math. That was my favorite subject. I was doing problems on my own. But then having the ability to come to the United States and seeing what a computer is and that it actually can do cool things. My first thing that I did on a computer was program the keyboard as a piano.
Oh, wow.
So having the ability to do this myself by following directions in a book and make my keyboard a piano kind of like sparked my interest in, wow, I can probably do a lot more with computers.
What computer was that? Do you remember?
Do you want me to share?
Yeah.
It was the very long desktop computer with this big of a monitor, black screen, green letters, and that's all it had.
CRTs.
I think our friend Darko probably has one in his garage.
Is it still working?
Darko? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, he keeps all this really cool tech stuff. So, yeah.
I would love to see one of those working.
I think he has an old computer museum pretty much in his house with every, old system you can think of, and he does some amazing stuff with them.
Same thing with the video cameras and the VHS C tapes.
Pretty much. So this is an absolutely amazing space, Maria. Tell us a little bit about it. How did this start and how did you get involved with the Skills Center?
I do want to start with saying that I started my AWS cloud journey here with training and certification organization 7 years ago. And an interesting fact is in the same building. So I've always been with training and certification and always in this building. And joining training and certification showed me really what TNC does and how it provides the training to individuals that are interested about the cloud, learning. They want to learn more. as well as enabling them to be able to build on the cloud. Um, a lot of programs have evolved and became were born from TNC because there are different learners out there, and we want to meet each learner where they are. And what the purpose of the Skills Center is to reach the audience and the public, those who are new to the cloud, they want to learn more about the cloud, they want to transition into tech, or they don't have the ability to attend a higher institution, educational institution, or have a, even computer at home.
Right.
And
Okay, so for context for the audience, we are in downtown Seattle at the first floor of a building. It's wide open, well labeled AWS Skills Center right downtown. And so this is, we're not in the 30th floor of some high rise tucked away somewhere. This is street level. So people can walk in and
people can walk in. We're open to the public Tuesday through Saturday. Anybody is welcome. We have a simple sign-in process upon entrance, and anybody can come down here and play and explore the exhibits that are all powered by a service on the AWS cloud. This is one way for us to inspire them and to show them how the cloud powers technology that we use in our everyday life.
Could you walk us a little bit through the journey of someone who walks in through the door? What you typically see them engaged with? Of course, the space is definitely inspiring. I mean, everything from the gaming center here to the echo devices and all the automation stuff you can do to deep racing. So what is the typical journey of someone who walks in through the door and is looking to explore something new? How do they engage and how do they get started?
I actually can share a real story about someone's journey from just
That'd be
walking
awesome.
in. Actually lives right next door.
Okay.
An individual that graduated from college and didn't know what he wants to do. And then walking by, just coming in, it's like, I am curious what this place is about. Right there at the entrance, we have the question, what is the cloud?
Right.
So he did say, I would like to know what is the cloud. And by signing in, entering, exploring different exhibits, and each exhibit has a display that talks about the exhibit and the service behind it. And also we talk about and we share different entry-level job opportunities with each exhibit, whether that's going to be machine learning or gaming or even space.
Got it.
We also promote it. We have a schedule, and we tell the visitors about the classes, the free training that we have, and what that leads to. So basically, someone coming in with little or no tech knowledge or computer knowledge, we have different learning paths for those who are very new, entry level, and we have the computer foundation courses,
Okay.
as well as those who are more advanced and have that basic knowledge of what a computer is, what's the hardware inside of it, how does network work, and what security. Then we have the courses of becoming a cloud practitioner.
You can start from scratch, right?
You can start from
with,
scratch.
Okay, what is a computer, keyboard, mouse, monitor, and then go all the way to SageMaker and
What
Deep
is the
Racer,
cloud?
machine learning. Wow. Okay.
And what you can do and how you can build and innovate on the cloud. So a specific individual walks in, gets inspired about technology, even more about the cloud, free foundational cloud classes, taking the cloud practitioner certification series of classes, achieving that certification, and then called and said, thank you for being here. Now I know I want to be a solution architect, so I'm going for my next certification.
Oh, that's really awesome. That's a really inspiring story. How does the Skills Center try and match, say, job opportunities to the abilities and the skills that these individuals come in and gather over here? Are these opportunities specific to AWS and the Amazon ecosystem, or does it also marry this with the industry and the asks of the industry in terms of the skills gap that exists today?
So we are here for the community, we are here for the public, and we are here to help close that cloud skills gap.
Got it.
As the technology evolves, more and more organizations are realizing the benefit of moving to the cloud. we constantly hear from our customers and partners that there is a shortage exactly in that entry-level talent, understanding the basic concepts of the cloud and the jobs that are needed to support applications on the cloud. That is why we're here. We're here for the community. We're here for the people from the public. We're here for anybody that wants to understand and get those skills to be able to get a job in tech and work on the cloud.
Does the Skill Center also handhold these students or these candidates who kind of get certification into preparing for interviews and applying for different positions in different places? Or is this primarily focused just on building up the skills, getting the certifications, and being out there?
So our focus is on that inspiration, this spark in technology, and get them started on their journey.
Got it.
Then we also do events, and we have to connect our learners with potential employers that are looking for that talent that has these skills to operate within their organizations. So we don't do it directly to our learners, but we make the connections by having career fairs at the Skills Center. We bring in local employers as well as promote within our learners.
And I suppose it's not just for the employees, but it's also for each other, right? There's a lot of people who, if they weren't surrounded by other tech people growing up, they might not have much of a network, and so being able to meet with other people who are in the journey with them. I think back to some of my, I won't say epiphanies, but moments of clarity, where it's been when a colleague or a friend tried to explain something to me, and I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. And so I imagine that's a huge part of it, is just meeting each other, meeting students, meeting fellow students, and plus all of the classes. The classes are partially in person and online. Is that how that works?
Exactly. Our classes are hybrid, as you said. So instructor-led in classroom. We have individuals here at the Skills Center. We actually have a class going on right now as we speak. And also we have attendees that are virtual online. For those who don't have the ability to get here physically in person, or for whatever reason feel more comfortable to take the learnings at home. And I want to point out the what you said about connecting people, because we truly believe that network and making those in-person connections are very valuable. It's very important for individuals to be able to connect and network, specifically when they have the same interest and hobbies.
Right.
We also host meetup groups here, local tech meetup groups that are local to Seattle, and that's also another way of connecting individuals. And I see you're smiling.
I have to plug this. Okay, well, all right. So I've sometimes it's figurative. I've literally got the community builder hat on.
There you go.
We have the AWS Seattle users group, and that's where we got connected. Speaking of community building, okay, so we got connected to the AWS Seattle users group meeting. I'm now part of helping to organize that, and we meet right there.
Right there. You're part of organizing it. I'm part of being able to host a group, and I see individuals that are coming to the user group and meetup, and they enter the space, and I see, I've never been here. What is this space about? I have been an engineer. I am a developer for 35 years, for 40 years in the Seattle area,
Right.
but they are also looking for that cloud knowledge. It's like, where do I learn more about the cloud? I can develop. I'm an engineer, but I need to know how I can do that using the cloud.
I was actually at the my mechanic yesterday, and I was talking to one of the young guys, and he said, oh, I really want to switch to tech. I want to be able to work from anywhere. You wouldn't believe it. I'm going to this place called the Skills Center tomorrow. You have to just drop in there when you have some time. He said, I just want to work from my laptop on a beach somewhere. That's what I said. Go to the Skills Center, talk to them, and that could be, you could realize that sooner than you think.
So you and I have similar stories. I also dropped off my car yesterday, and this morning I got a text message with a link. So I clicked on the link, and it's the mechanic walking around my car, physically testing and showing me what he has done, and like giving me full report of your tires, your liquids, your anything about the car. And it's like, yep, everything's fixed and ready, as you can see. You can come pick it up. And I'm like, all that is because we have the cloud. Like, if we didn't have the ability to have access to information in real time, and most of all, like, store it.
The text probably got to you via SNS and event. How did it get there?
Correct. This stuff is super exciting, of course, and you're very focused on the Seattle area and the community around here. I believe there is one more skill center
There
in the
is.
US, and that's in Arlington.
That's in Arlington, Virginia. We
Okay.
have almost identical center there.
A large part of the AWS learning comes from the online setup, whether it is the certifications, the online courses you can take and stuff like that. We do have a insanely large global audience when it comes to folks trying to get to understand the cloud, doing all of this stuff. So is there a different role between everything else that's going on in the AWS learning field, whether it's the online version or the skill center? Is there a separation of roles, or is it all kind of blended in?
All the trainings, whether it's digital, in-person, instructor-led, or self-paced learning, it's there, and the variety is there to meet the individual learner where they are in their journey. That is why we have so many offerings, and that is why we have the ability to provide so many options for our learners. Some prefer to learn on their own pace at home. Some prefer to learn through a live online course. The Skill Center is here for those who are needing that in-person interaction and being able to physically be with the instructor and ask them questions. I also have another story with a learner who came from Spokane. For all of our courses, traveled every single time.
Wow.
And, it's like 3-4 hour drive. The question to, why in person? Because we're also in virtual. And he said, I've been looking for in-person training. And we all know we were all paused for a little bit from in-person activities, but he said that he only learns when he is in person. That's his style, and those are his needs. So the fact that AWS Training and Certification has the ability to meet each learner and provide whatever they need.
Who are the instructors? Who puts these courses together? And tell us about on that side of it.
Our instructors are actually certified AWS technical instructors that have the ability to teach our content.
One of my grievances with AWS has always been that AWS has not generally been very opinionated about what users of AWS should do or how they should do things. But I love this environment for a simple reason that given AWS's vast footprint, I think one of the biggest struggles that everyone else has is where do we start? Okay, and I love this space, the way you guys have set this up, where you can start with gaming, or you can start with the machine learning section, you can start with home automation, you can start with all this data analysis and stuff. It seems like it's a very guided system where you say, here are 5 different areas that you can explore, dive a little deeper, see what piques your interest, and then kind of do it. I love the fact that you've narrowed it down to these specific use cases. Is there something like this that you guys are also thinking of bringing to the cloud so that the broader audience can also benefit from starting with very specific exploratory scenarios and then build their interest in specific areas and dive in deeper? Because that's one of the biggest issues, where when you let developers just say, hey, here are 200 different services and 100,000 API, go figure out what you are interested in.
And where do you start?
You kind of end up in analysis paralysis and kind of can't proceed further. So this is brilliant. I mean, honestly, this is absolutely brilliant, where that focus comes in and you say, oh, this is something that's really interesting. Here's a real world use case. You've got all these deep races, and we'll do a tour shortly, but you've got all these very specific, very narrowly focused insights and use cases that someone can get interested in and get started with. So any insights on that?
Yes, we did pick these 5 specifically to have as exhibits here. These are developed by other sub-teams, and we have them here to show how the cloud powers each and one of those. And yes, we do have more than 200 services that it's really hard for individuals that are very new to the cloud. It's where do I start? And this is why I recommend taking one of our courses, informational sessions, starting with Introduction to the Cloud. It's a 1-hour session talking about what is the cloud and what's possible on the cloud. We have another session of featuring different job roles in the cloud. So that way individuals can get an idea of what is to be a solution architect, what is to be any of the cloud job roles. And we talk about how to start, what does it do on the day-to-day job functions, and how to get started. Another offering that we have is for someone that has questions, that has no idea where to start, and everything is overwhelming. All the resources are online, all the digital training that's available. We have sessions called Ask an Expert, which is a one-on-one interaction with our technical instructors.
Got it.
So they are also here to help in-person individuals asking directly, I want to do this, or I have certain experience, I want to transition into tech. What's the next step? What's the right thing for me? Here's my knowledge, here's my degree, whether there is or isn't one, and then our trained technical instructors can help guide them. And
so someone can come in and literally get one-on-one with someone who's right in their area. And it's amazing because I think about like in the AWS shows, like Toronto and London that we just got back, where they have the Ask an Architect booth, and I can imagine similar, right? You have access to a very subject matter expert on your area of, I guess, of interest.
Exactly, and that's the start level. Like, where do I start? But then we guide them onto the next level. They have the ability to continue through one of our other AWS offerings and trainings and learnings, depending on the learner's desire and their profile. We have several different paths that they can continue after the Skills Center.
We have a bunch of kids over here who seem extremely engaged with all the stuff that's going on over here. So a question on that. Is there an age limit, or is there an age profile for an ideal person to walk into this particular environment? It looks like, some of the kids in school could really benefit from getting an early start on all this technology.
Yes, there is no age limit. Anybody can come here at any time, play and explore with our exhibits. Our trainings and courses are targeting adult learners, those that are ready to enter the workforce, and helping them start with a certification. The age limit, we don't have the age limit, but we do have a program targeting students in schools.
Okay.
And we have a field trip program. So we bring students in for about a 2-hour experience, and we provide fun educational activities for them, whether it's with the space here in the exhibits, as well as a classroom activity and a computer, physical computer, desktop computer, showing them the parts, as well as kind of like introducing them to the cloud and what it's possible.
And, okay, so if you're a K through 12 educator and you want to have a class field trip to the Skills Center, you can bring all the students here. They'll have a workstation. They can see all the cool stuff. They can get inspired. That's a really neat idea. I mean, I think some of those. I grew up in Washington D.C. when I was in K through 12, and you could go to the Air and Space Museum. That I still value those trips, and I think it kind of steered some of my interests. I'm not in aviation, but I still follow it. I really like it. I think it's really interesting, and kind of those formative experiences. That's really neat. They can get one with tech and with the cloud and see how it's all connected. Right?
Yes.
Something has to power all this stuff. It has to make it all work.
Yeah.
And most of all, I also point out that we inspire them. We show them what's possible. And we work with organizations that are supporting different demographics within schools. Specifically, could be being interested in STEM, could be... So those organizations reach out, and they are the ones that bring students here. Then the fact that when we talk to them about STEM and job roles and possibilities and trainings, and after a session, this is the rewarding part, as you have this little girl coming and saying, thank you, this really inspired me. As a girl, I didn't think I have a career in STEM, because currently she's the only one in class, for example. And that's where we inspired him. And technology, tech is for everyone, no matter gender.
100%.
Yeah.
Can our audience go and get more information, about the Skills Center, of course, but also about doing more with the cloud?
There are several resources. The best will be to start with our website.
Okay.
I don't know if you can probably
Yeah,
post it
we'll
after.
put that up.
There it is, right
Right here.
Start on our website. That's
Okay.
where anyone can find the different trainings offerings. Anyone can sign up for our classes.
Great.
We also have contact information. There is the phone number. There is the email alias for the Skills Center, AWS-Skills-Center-Seattle@amazon.com.
Great.
And we will respond promptly. We organize tours for different groups that reach out, for external visitors that come and visit Seattle and they just want to explore, or someone that wants to bring their organizations or study club, or anybody that wants to come here is more than welcome. And if there are more questions about specific trainings or specific learning paths or how to get started, I suggest sign up for the Ask the Expert course.
Ask the expert. Okay, so ask the expert, and then we'll put the URL, which is floating right there.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Great. Thank you so much once again, Maria, for having us here. This is an absolutely incredible space. As I was telling you earlier, I've been coming into this building for years now as part of the EBC
Yes.
experience, and now to see this transform into this amazing space is truly inspiring. So thank you so much for having this here.
Thank you for having me. And yes, I also feel my job is super inspiring and rewarding, to being able to provide free training opportunities to anyone in the community.
Speaking of community, you had a really cool event yesterday. How did that go?
We had a Native Youth event with students from Northern Idaho, and we also had the West Point cadets that were
cool.
here, also
Nice.
teaching them about technology and showing these little cool robots, and they had to build stuff. We
sounds
had
really
a
cool.
cloud exploration day this week, which was open to the public. We talked about different job roles. We delivered a session of introduction to the cloud. We are actually also really working with the communities around Seattle. We are partnering with different communities that are supporting individuals. And a big one is a community classroom that we did with the military,
Okay.
with JBLM. And our trainers went on site to deliver our training. We're also
Nice.
having an event for, it was just announced yesterday, Salute to Success,
Okay.
with an organization called Dress for Success.
That's the one that you were telling me about.
That's the one. Okay. See, I'm glad in September, we will have specifically an event here with individuals that are transitioning out of the military, or military spouses, and that will be specifically for them with introduction to the cloud again session, and providing different learning paths and opportunities for those who are transitioning.
Is there anything else that you would like the audience to know about this center and all the other activities that are going on, or that you would like them to engage with?
Come down, see us, play with our exhibits, see what's possible, and tell your friends and family, because I think communication and sharing opportunities, sharing what's available for free right here in the Seattle area, as well as the Arlington area, as well as online,
Yeah.
is, you never know. It just might be just telling your neighbor, hey,
True.
I know about this skill center, and you never know what could happen after that.
Awesome. We're going to take a tour of this amazing
I
place
say
and
let's
show
go
you
on a
this.
tour finally, because I cannot wait to
And-
show you all the cool exhibits.
Let's do that.
I want to see you racing on the race car and see if you can get on the leaderboard.
Oh, we have a thank you for this interview. This is one of our cool bits of swag.
Thank you.
You can unfold. It's sunglasses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with
Can I put them on?
yeah.
Yes.
See.
These are our Cloud Fix swag, and you've got a lens wiper with Rahul's cartoon avatar.
That was
on
not
it.
my idea. I can guarantee that.
There you
That
go.
looks really cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Thank you.
Let's go. We walk and we see an ad about something, but how often do we pay attention to that? If it's not really like that one thing that grasps our interest, or Or we might see it like 10 times, 15 times, and then on the 20th, it will make us question, what is this really about? And take a look.
Is your AWS public cloud bill growing? While most solutions focus on visibility, CloudFix saves you 10 to 20% on your AWS bill by finding and implementing AWS recommended fixes that are 100% safe. There's zero downtime and zero degradation in performance. We've helped organizations save millions of dollars across tens of thousands of AWS instances. Interested in seeing how much money you can save? Visit cloudfix.com to schedule